Hi, this is Congressman Joe Morelle. Over the last several weeks, my office has been receiving a whole host of inquiries about the coronavirus, both in terms of what the science is and how you might be affected, how you should practice social distancing, all those things. And then we've been getting a bunch of questions, you can imagine, about the federal stimulus packages, which we've passed. We've passed three different bills. The first one intended to provide some really quick relief to our health systems to deal with the early stages of the virus. The second bill dealt with paid and sick leave and paid family leave. And then the third one was, of course, the $2 trillion stimulus package, which has a whole host of benefits for small businesses, individuals, families, and is intended to try to provide relief for people so they can continue to pay bills, put food on the table, pay shelter, et cetera. So I thought I'd take a moment to answer a couple of questions. We'll try to do this periodically, so we can get to the questions that people are sending to us on our website, which, by the way, is morelle.house.gov, morelle.house, HOUSE.gov. We have a long list of resources for people who have questions. But thought I'd first begin with a question from Oscar, who lives in Gates. He said, where can small businesses obtain the funding resources they need? So, as I mentioned, one of our philosophical views on this when we began looking at the stimulus package was how to help small businesses, individuals, and families. One of the criticisms after the 2007-2008 economic crash and recession was that the Congress at the time put too much of an investment in large businesses and spent less time worrying about individuals and families. We took a different approach this time. So one of the most important things, I think, for small businesses, and small businesses in this setting means employers with fewer than 500 employees, but it also includes sole proprietors. It means freelance workers, could be people who have very, very small businesses, so your local nail salon, barbershop, restaurant, etc. And the Paycheck Protection Program was instituted to allow those businesses to receive funding depending on how big their payroll is, what their revenues are, but they would get funding from an SBA certified lender. That's most banks in the region deal with SBA, Small Business Administration, guaranteed loans. The loan is guaranteed 100%. And what it essentially does is it allows a borrower to borrow money to pay payroll, overhead, which includes rent, utilities, debt service on equipment, pay that for a period of up to 8 weeks. And if you start at the beginning of the loan period and end it and have the same number of employees and don't decline your headcount at all or reduce your headcount at all, the loan is 100% forgivable, meaning you don't have to pay it back. So this should really help with cash flow and really help folks get through the next several weeks. My expectation is we may have to extend the period as this virus continues to wreak havoc on communities all across the country. The easiest way to do this, couple of ways to get information on it. First of all, you can go to the Small Business Administration website, sba.gov. You can also go to our website. Finally, if you have a relationship with a bank or a lender, just call them and ask them for the SBA PPP, Paycheck Protection Program application. Talk to them about any specifics. Oscar, hope that answers your question. And for others who are struggling to understand how to keep their small business going. Next question was from Benita in Webster. Is there a deadline in filing taxes to be eligible to receive a stimulus check? And what is the criteria for determining who will receive checks? This is a great question. This deals with the rebate program, which will send checks to families based on a couple of different factors. First of all, it's based on your 2019 tax filing. So if you haven't done it yet, the period has been extended to July, so many people have done it. Some have not. If you haven't done it, we would use your 2018 tax filing. So there are income categories for this. So if you're a single filer, the maximum award of $1,200 per person is for anybody with $75,000 of income or less. You can, however, receive some benefit all the way up to having income, and it's adjusted gross income on your tax return, all the way up to $99,000 of adjusted gross income. And what happens is when you hit the $75, which is the amount you can get for the maximum benefit, For every $100 of additional income you made up to $99,000, the benefit is reduced by $5. So essentially, if you made $75,100, instead of receiving a $1,200 check, you would get $1,195. It is different if you're a head of household. That number starts at $112,500 and goes up to a maximum of $136,000. Again, it's deducting $5 for additional $100 of income. If you're a joint filer, then the joint income has to be $150,000 or less to receive the maximum benefit, all the way up to $199,000. The same applies. You reduce for every additional $100 in income over the $150,000, your benefit is reduced by $5. These checks will come in, or these benefits will come in two different ways. First is if you receive your refund or pay your taxes electronically, meaning the IRS already has your account information on file, you will get this benefit automatically. There's nothing that you have to do. You don't have to file any forms. It will automatically appear. For those of you who pay with a check, if you have a tax that you have to do at the end of the year, or receive a paper check in the form of a refund, you'll get a paper check from the IRS to pay that benefit. Again, you don't have to file anything other than your tax return in either 2018 or 2019. There is, as most people know, $1,200 per eligible individual, $500 for children under the age of 16. And again, that will all be done automatically. People have asked questions about the Social Security Administration. If you're a recipient of Social Security, either the old age Social Security, which is typically what we think of, the survivor's Social Security, which is children who have lost a parent, or disability insurance, you'll get a check as well. And again, those recipients should not have to do anything other than to receive the check. I would expect the deposits will start being made in about 10 days from the IRS. They will probably be made fastest for people who have automatic deposits. But I would say this, if people don't hear within the next couple of weeks, please reach out to our office and we'll help track down. For a very, very small number of people, there may be a requirement to file if you don't already file tax returns. That information is made available on our website, and certainly calling the IRS or contacting them will get that information as well. But again, for the vast majority of Americans, they won't have to do anything to receive the rebate check. Will and Brighton asks, when do we expect a broadly available antibody test so we can understand the true extent of the pandemic? It's a really great question. We don't have yet a widely available antibody. And let me just make a distinction. Antibodies will tell you whether or not you have successfully recovered from the virus. It doesn't tell you that you have the virus right now. The antibodies occur once your body has, and your immune system has dispensed with the virus and developed antibodies and gives you immunity, we believe, from future episodes of getting the virus. The diagnostic test, which is one we're really trying to get everybody who is sick to determine the spread of the disease, that's available now, although frankly, I think the administration has done a poor job of making readily available those diagnostic tests. But they are different from the antibody test. We hope to have that. There are reports that an antibody test, which is a small prick of the finger to get just a couple of drops of blood, and is typically available in terms of results in about 15 minutes. That will really tell us how many Americans were infected, recovered, and it may have been either the mildest of symptoms or may have been completely asymptomatic, but your immune system dealt with the virus. Hopefully, as I said, there's reports that that'll be available in the next few weeks, and we certainly hope that's the case. So I hope these have answered some of the questions that you have. If not, please go to our website. You can add additional questions, and hopefully in the next several days, we'll be answering more and more as we get from residents. Again, everybody, please practice social distancing. Wear a mask when you're out in public. Let's stop the spread of this curve, and let's make sure that we keep this spread of this disease get over it as quickly as possible, keep it as flat as possible, and let's save lives. So social distance out there. Thanks so much for your time.